and I'm going to pose this question to you. Would you want to walk a mile in my shoes? And I'm not talking about the White House shoes. I'm talking about an African-American girl from Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore, whose uncle and aunt just got shot Monday. Yeah. That news story, that was my aunt and uncle. Would you want to trade places with me? There you go. We have to think about walking a mile in another person's shoes. So, Bill Clinton at that time had all of these off the records with white journalists. The prominent people like Eileen, who worked for CNN, and all the big names, ABC, NBC, he had all these off the records. You got the chance to sit and talk with the President of the United States about anything, you know? Anything you wanted. You could talk about politics, or you could talk about, oh, I like that picture on your wall, you know? Anything. But the black journalists did not have that. I don't know if it was because we were not the lead reporter or because we were second string. I don't know. But none of the black journalists did. So what we did, we said, okay, we're going to leverage. We're going to leverage. We're going to leverage. Bill Clinton wanted to talk to us about race to find out how to move the ball forward. Because he trusted us. We followed him. And he knew us journalistically. And he kind of knew us personally. You can't be around someone that close every day and not know them. So there was a familiarity there. So we said, okay, he wants to meet with us, we want to meet with him too. We said, we're going to have a soul food dinner. The best way to get to someone's heart and get them to talk, sit down and give them some food. Give them chitlins, collard greens, yes, candied yams, potato salad, and garlic fried chicken. And that's what he ate, all in one fork. He did. So, and then years later, he said to me during the Bush years, in the Oval Office, he said, you remember that soul food dinner we had? That's why I had my heart attack. I said, no, Mr. President, that's not it. So, that night was magical. It was the night before the memorial service for John Kennedy Jr. We didn't think it was going to happen because everything happens and a schedule is not ever permanent until it happens. And we said, oh my gosh, John, it's going to be off the table because we kept saying we're going to do it and they kept pulling off the table. We kept saying we were so close so many times. And the Monica Lewinsky thing really put a monkey wrench in it because we didn't think it was going to happen. And it finally happened and we were like, oh my gosh, and it happened that night. That night, about 10 black reporters, producers from NBC, from Fox News, from the Associated Press, from American Urban Radio Networks, the Boston Globe, the list goes on, were at that table. The president came up in that stretch limousine with the motorcade and with all the other little emergency vehicles and everything behind him, and the reporters who were sitting in that van that whole night, trying to figure out why he's talking to us. He wanted to find out what we thought about race. So the president comes in with his sleeves rolled up like he's on the campaign trail. We're like, just sit down, we want to talk to you. We had a conversation. They had to pull him out. It started at 7:30 at night. They had to pull him out at 11 o'clock. He wanted to talk. So we were talking about everything under the sun, and it was an off-the-record conversation. But what I did of the conversation, I put in the question that I asked. And I said, Mr. President, I said, why won't you apologize for slavery? He came so close. He came so close when we were in Africa, but he didn't. People like Ron Emanuel cut out the strong language. They didn't want him to apologize for slavery, because if he did apologize for slavery, these are things you've never heard before, and it's true. And Bill Clinton is on the record in this book talking about these things.